Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
Are you hungry yet?
Yeah.
Boy, if you're hungry
I am.
and you, eat something that you really think is tasty, gee, you might get fat, you might get overweight, and you don't want to do that. So a lot of us need to control our appetite and watch what we eat.
Right.
Stephanie is always mentioning these fattening foods that she likes to eat.
Too.
Seems like the tastiest food is always the food that's the worst for us.
I know. I hate that.
Me too.
Yeah.
Like fried food and pizza and fried chicken and stuff like that. But actually, there are some kinds of foods out there, or one particular diet that we're going to talk about today that is very, very tasty and is actually very, very good for you. You've probably heard about it. The Mediterranean diet. Of course, that refers to the area of the world around the Mediterranean Sea, especially on the north coast of the Mediterranean Sea in Italy, Greece, and what other country did they mention? Spain there. So Spanish food, Italian food, and Greek food supposedly are all good for you. And maybe you can adopt that diet yourself, lose lots of weight, be healthy, and live a long, long time.
Yeah, it's not just what you eat, it's how much you eat. So even if you're eating really healthy food, if you eat too much, you're still going to gain weight. So probably the best advice is to try to eat healthy food, but don't eat too much. That's what's hard. My sister was saying the other day, she said, oh, man, because she had lost weight. I said, oh, Heather, you're thin. You're thinner. And she said, yeah, but I'm also hungry all the time. And I thought, oh, it's so true. So as you're younger, you're able to eat more because your body and your metabolism works faster. So my advice to people listening is to eat as much food as you can while you're young. Because as you get past 30, your body kind of slows down and you can't eat so much. So we're going to be talking today, though, about a type of diet. Not about, not eating too much food, but the types of food that you can eat that is a little bit more healthy, especially for your heart. So let's get started. We're going to read through today's lesson and then we'll be back. The Mediterranean diet is a traditional way of eating in countries along the northern coast of the Mediterranean Sea, including Spain, Italy, and Greece. Although modern fast food is now just as widespread in these countries as it is in the rest of the world, the traditional Mediterranean diet is much healthier. It has been shown to support weight loss and heart health. It can also help prevent certain cancers, nervous system disorders, and diabetes. The Mediterranean diet consists of whole grains, vegetables, fruits, nuts, seafood, herbs and spices, and olive oil. Olive oil in particular is a healthy fat used instead of butter, margarine, or canola oil. Sources of lean protein such as poultry and eggs, as well as dairy products like cheese and yogurt, are eaten in moderation. People in the Mediterranean region usually just drink water, but one serving of red wine per day is also acceptable. Red meat such as beef, pork, or lamb is rarely consumed. Whole foods and fresh natural ingredients are an important part of the diet. It's best to avoid too much salt, highly processed foods, added sugar, and refined grains and oils. You'll find the traditional Mediterranean diet has little of each of these. It's not only the food that makes the Mediterranean diet so healthy. People in Mediterranean cultures enjoy relaxing with loved ones while eating. This leads to people eating more slowly and thoughtfully. Another essential part of the traditional Mediterranean diet is to get moving. This could be as simple as a morning jog or going for a walk after dinner. Don't just think of the Mediterranean diet as a food plan. Think of it as a better way of life.
All right, everybody, let's get to it. Let's talk about the contents of today's lesson. We're talking about food, and we're talking about staying healthy. with the Mediterranean diet. Mediterranean means having to do with the Mediterranean Sea, which, of course, is that body of water south of Europe and north of Africa there. Countries such as Spain, Italy, the former Yugoslavia, Greece, Turkey. I think Lebanon is along the Mediterranean Sea. Egypt, Tunisia, Libya, Algeria, Morocco. Those are all countries that are on, or at least next to, the Mediterranean Sea. But we're talking about the Mediterranean diet, the food that people eat, especially in Spain, Italy, and Greece. So let's get to it. The Mediterranean diet is a traditional way of eating in countries along the northern coast of the Mediterranean Sea, including Spain, Italy, and Greece. So take a look at a map there, and you'll see countries on the northern coast of the Mediterranean Sea. We've got Spain there. Spain, of course, is where Rafael Nadal is from. And then we've got Italy. Italy, of course, is where Rome is. And then we've got Greece, which is where Athens is, and all those ancient buildings from the Roman and Greek empires or civilizations. So if you're going to those countries and you want to see all those sites, make sure you stop in at some restaurants and have some Mediterranean food. It's a traditional way of eating in those countries.
Yeah, it sure is. Actually, when I hear this phrase, Mediterranean diet, I typically focus more on the Italian style of eating. But it's true. Spanish food, which is not Mexican food, by the way. It's different. It's not the same. Although some people think Spanish and Mexican are the same. No. But Italian and Greek food, even Moroccan food, I think of, it's very healthy for you. So although modern fast food is now just as widespread in these countries as it is in the rest of the world, like here in Taiwan, we've got plenty of fast fried chicken places that are actually Taiwanese companies, but we've also got, of course, McDonald's and Burger King. Those are all types of fast food. Your night market food would be considered unhealthy fast food as well, I think, too. So we've got
a lot of it, yeah.
Fast food is just everywhere. It's widespread, meaning it's not just located in one small area. It's all over the world. But this traditional Mediterranean diet is much healthier than this fast food that people sometimes eat too much of just because it's convenient.
And it's tasty, of course. And, of course, if you go to the night market and you buy something and it's pretty cheap, it's probably because they're not using the best oil in the world. They're certainly not going to be using olive oil because that is very expensive. And as we're going to see, olive oil is quite common in Mediterranean cooking.
You know you can't deep fry in olive oil. No.
Yeah, I think it's like got to be used on a low heat or something like that.
Yeah, you can't go too hot with olive oil, so
got to be careful.
You could never deep fry with it.
Okay, very good. So I guess it's not possible to have bad food with olive oil, although I think it's possible to overheat the olive oil, and that changes its chemical structure or something like that.
It's not as healthy, yeah.
And makes it unhealthy. So watch out there. Read some books about this. Make sure you know what you're doing. But still, if you're in Athens or Rome or Madrid, of course, you're going to find fast food restaurants there, which will be fattening for you because fast food is common. It's widespread. But the traditional Mediterranean diet is available there. You need to go to special places for it. And, of course, it's healthier. It has been shown to support weight loss and heart health. So, of course, as you know, if you eat less, you can lose weight, but it does something strange to your body's chemical balance, and these hormones are released, and the body goes into starvation mode. So if you've lost weight, the body really wants to gain that weight back. But I guess if you eat a Mediterranean diet, it can help support weight loss. In other words, you can lose the weight and keep it off, as we say. And it can also promote your heart health. You'll be less likely to have cardiovascular diseases or, heaven forbid, a heart attack. You don't want to have that.
No, it can also help prevent certain cancers, nervous system disorders, and diabetes. So it can really help you in a lot of different areas in regards to your health. If you prevent something, it means you stop something from happening or you keep something from happening. or you keep somebody from doing something. So you want to prevent certain types of cancers. You don't want that cancer. So in order to keep that cancer away, this type of diet is quite good for your body. Now, nervous system disorders could include, I don't know, things that have to do with your nerves.
Maybe numbness in your extremities, like your hands or feet or something?
Parkinson's disease, that has to do with your nerves too.
Mm-hmm.
So a disorder is something where you're having some sort of illness that disrupts your normal physical or mental functions. So you could help in that area of your health. And also diabetes is that illness, that sickness that you get if your body can't regulate the glucose or sugar in your body. That can be very, very dangerous if you have too much sugar or too little sugar. People who have diabetes have to take pills every day and watch what they eat. You can't eat as much sugar or things like carbs, like bread and noodles.
Gotta watch out, of course, but I guess if you eat a Mediterranean diet, you can prevent these diseases, at least control them better.
Help prevent, yeah.
Help prevent. And in the next paragraph here, it says, the Mediterranean diet consists of whole grains, vegetables, fruits, nuts, seafood, herbs, and spices, and olive oil. So those are the main ingredients of the Mediterranean diet. It consists of these things, or it includes these things.
Made up of those things,
Right,
yeah.
those are the things that it contains. And we've got whole grains, which is like, whole wheat, not refined wheat. Or, like full grain rice, like here, of course, people like to have white rice. But of course, peya rice, or I don't know how you say that in English, but and zamifan, those are like whole grains.
Brown rice, wild rice.
Okay,
yeah.
That's a good term for it.
Yeah.
And vegetables, of course, we've got to have those: carrots, broccoli, etc. Fruits, like guava and dragon fruit and stuff like that. Also nuts, like walnuts or almonds and cashews, maybe.
Not so much peanuts, though. Those are legumes. They're a type of bean.
Those aren't actually nuts.
Yeah, I know.
And also seafood, which would be fish, of course. You all love seafood here in Taiwan, so that's no problem there. Also with different herbs and spices to give it its special flavor. And as we mentioned before, good old olive oil. It seems like nobody says olive oil is bad for you. Everybody just loves olive oil, and olive oil in particular is a healthy fat used instead of butter, margarine, or canola oil. So those are other kinds of oil, and olive oil is better than butter. It's better than margarine. Margarine's kind of like a substitute butter.
It's fake butter, yeah.
I think it's all trans fats. I think nowadays you're supposed to stay totally away from margarine. And canola oil, I think canola is like a flour, right?
It's an oilseed rape. Rape is a type of plant that it comes from. So canola oil, that was very popular for a while. I think for most of my lifetime, we've known that olive oil is pretty healthy, but they go back and forth over butter and things like that. We're going to continue talking about some of these things, especially this diet that is supposed to be more healthy. But first, we're going to listen to our Chinese teacher.
Hello everyone, my name is Tina. 今天我们要谈的呢是地中海饮食，英文称之为 Mediterranean Diet。它是一个非常健康的饮食方式。首先来看到在第一段的第二个句子提到Although modern fast food is now just as widespread in these countries as it is in the rest of the world, the traditional Mediterranean diet is much healthier. 在这里的 these countries 指的就是在前面提到的西班牙、意大利跟希腊，也就是盛行地中海饮食的地方。虽然在这些国家呢 modern fast food 现代的素食也是相当的 widespread， 在这里当作形容词是普及的意思。不过呢，它其实呢地中海饮食呢是要来的健康的许多。在这里我们用 much 来强调比较级 healthier 的语气。接着来看到在第一段的最后一句，地中海饮食到底有什么好处呢？ It can also help prevent certain cancers, nervous system disorders, and diabetes. 地中海饮食还可以帮助预防某些癌症、神经系统的疾病以及糖尿病。我们来看一下 prevent 这个动词的用法。Prevent 有预防、阻止的意思。举例来说，维他命 C 被认为能够预防感冒，我们就可以说 Vitamin C is supposed to prevent colds。那如果你要阻止什么事情发生，你则是可以搭配介系词 from。这个经理阻止我们的计划，不给它实施，你就可以说 The manager prevented our plans from being carried out。而后面呢，还有一个字也要请大家注意的，就是 disorder。disorder 有失调或者是小疾病的意思。举例来说 She suffered from a mild stomach disorder， 也就是指着她患有轻度的胃病。Diabetes 这个字非常重要，是现代人的疾病，也就是所谓的糖尿病。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Okay, let's continue to talk about the Mediterranean diet. Many of our listeners are quite young. You're in high school, and you're probably not too concerned about your diet. But a lot of our listeners are older folks who are starting to get a little bit of that unsightly tummy bulge. Or a little spare tire around the midsection and stuff like that. So you might start to be concerned about your diet in the future. So, yes, the Mediterranean diet is what we are discussing today. You want to stay healthy with the Mediterranean diet. And we've talked about some of the ingredients. The Mediterranean diet consists of different things: whole grains, vegetables, fruits, nuts, seafood, herbs and spices, olive oil. And especially olive oil is a healthy fat, but sources of lean protein such as poultry and eggs, as well as dairy products like cheese and yogurt, are eaten in moderation. So you can have these things as part of the Mediterranean diet, but not too much. They're eaten in moderation. Moderation just means not too much of something, okay? Sometimes I guess people say that if you do want to drink alcohol, well, drink it in moderation. Don't get plastered. Don't get drunk. You'll be obnoxious. You'll get sick. You'll drive your car and kill people and stuff like that. So, yeah, just have a beer or two at your boss's dinner party or something like that. Drink in moderation. And here, these things should be eaten in moderation. Like sources of lean protein or very good protein, like poultry, which of course is meat from, birds, chicken or turkey, and eggs, and then dairy products, which could include cheese and yogurt. You can have those things, but don't eat too much of it.
Yeah, I noticed that some of these guys who are weightlifters and are trying to get really lean and get rid of the fat, they don't eat dairy products. So it's better to not eat so much of the dairy products out there. Of course, my favorite thing in the whole world is sour cream, which comes from milk. So, yeah, you got to be careful with this. So lean protein, poultry, and eggs. And then don't eat so much of the cheese and yogurt. Like Tom says, eat in moderation. Don't eat too much of something. People in the Mediterranean region usually just drink water. Here in Taiwan, I've noticed something kind of interesting. We have drink shops all over. My neighborhood had 2 drink shops on the same street and another one just opened, which I think is crazy. That's empty calories for me. I say empty calories because you're not getting any nutrition from the drinks that you guys are drinking, like the bubble milk tea.
Lots of sugar there.
Yeah, lots of sugar. But there in the Mediterranean region there, they tend to just stick with good old water. Water is really good for your body. And I noticed that when I stop drinking pop or soda pop, I love Sprite in particular, I do a lot better on my diet if I just drink water and nothing else. So they tend to just stay with water, but they might have one serving or one glass a day of red wine, which it says here is also acceptable. If something's acceptable, it means it's satisfactory. It's something that people can say, okay, that's good. You can agree on it. It's suitable. It's not too much. Like Tom said, if you drink until you're drunk, it's just a mess because the next day you feel horrible.
You'll have a hangover.
Oh, it's terrible. So, yeah, do lots of things in moderation. Even exercising too much cannot be so good for your body. Do things in moderation. Red meat, like beef, pork, or lamb, is rarely consumed or rarely eaten. Some of those meats are my favorite. I love beef and pork. I'm not really a big lamb eater. But I have learned to like duck because of the Taiwanese here. I see duck in restaurants quite frequently. It's good. But that would be a more heavy meat. They're wanting you to stick with meats that don't have a lot of fat in them, like chicken, fish, things like that.
That would be poultry, chicken, of course. I used to be vegetarian, but I went back to eating meat, but that does not include red meat, so I don't like beef or pork or lamb or goat or whatever, which is fine with me because the Mediterranean diet does not include these kinds of meat. Whole foods and fresh, natural ingredients are an important part of the diet. These are whole foods. They're not processed foods. They're the real thing, which, is very common here in Taiwan. If you go to traditional markets, you can get whole foods as well. It's best to avoid too much salt, highly processed foods, added sugar, and refined grains and oils. So, yes, you should avoid those things. It's best to avoid those things. You should avoid those things. Don't eat them in your diet. Salt, of course, is bad for your heart. Processed food, they say, is bad for you. Like, bread. White bread is processed food, or sometimes you get processed cheese, things like that. And added sugar, don't put too much sugar in your food. And the refined grains, eat the whole grains. Don't eat the refined grains. And the oils, I guess you got to avoid the refined oils, which are not whole oils. And so you'll find this traditional Mediterranean diet has little of each of these ingredients.
Now, beyond just the diet, they've studied the people in the Mediterranean area, and they just have a more relaxed culture. When they eat, they take lots of time. They don't eat while they're running to their job or, sitting on the bus trying to eat quickly before you get to work. They enjoy relaxing with loved ones while eating. I think that's true of the Taiwanese, though, especially in the evening. People like to go out and eat with their family and friends. But enjoying life, relaxing a little bit more, those are things that can help your health and give you a better lifestyle. This leads to people eating more slowly and thoughtfully. If you're in a hurry, sometimes you end up eating too much because it takes a little while for your stomach to tell your brain, oh, I'm full. You don't need to keep eating. I've noticed that about me. If I take more time to eat, I don't eat as much. So if you're doing something thoughtfully, you're thinking it through, your brain's activated, you're not just doing something without thinking or eating thoughtlessly. That's the opposite of thoughtfully. Thoughtlessly is you don't even think about something before you do it. So that's important too.
Thoughtfully, yes, with thought. If somebody gives you a gift that you could really use, you can say, oh, how thoughtful of you. Well, another essential or important part of the traditional Mediterranean diet is to get moving. Do some exercise, not necessarily going to the gym, but this could be as simple as a morning jog. Just go jogging for maybe 20, 30 minutes or something like that, or going for a walk after dinner, or like people in Okinawa do, they have all these groups of people who gather in parks and exercise, just like here in Taiwan. So don't just think of the Mediterranean diet as a food plan. Think of it as a better way of life. So again, it's not just the food, but it's your your lifestyle as well. All of these can help you be thin and live a long time and be really, really happy. Okay, that brings us to the end of our explanation. We'd like now to hear from our Chinese teacher.
第二段则是描述地中海饮食常见的一些食物。我们来看一下在第二段的第3个句子。Sources of lean protein such as poultry and eggs, as well as dairy products like cheese and yogurt, are eaten in moderation. 在这里提到的 lean protein 是蛋白质，而 lean 呢则是形容词，解释成为无脂肪的，所以瘦肉就可以叫做 lean meat。像是这种呢禽肉 poultry或者是蛋呢，都是这种精益蛋白质的来源，所以像是 dairy products 这些乳制品，起司跟 yogurt 都可以适量的使用。Moderation 当作名词，有适度、节制的意思。我们说 John 啊，做每一件事情都很有节制，你就可以说 John does everything in moderation。继续，我们来看到这里，在这一段的最后一句提到呢，还要避免一些东西。这一句提到 It's best to avoid too much salt, highly processed foods, added sugar, and refined grains and oils. You'll find the traditional Mediterranean diet has little of each of these. It's best to do something.最好是怎么样？是你最好要去避免太多的盐分，或者是高度加工的食品。Process 原本当作动词，就是有加工、处理的意思。我们在市场上呢，常常看到有很多加工过的蔬菜，我们就说 Supermarkets sell many vegetables that have been processed。所以要避免这些东西，还有呢，添加的糖、精致的谷物 refined grains， 甚至是食用油。这样一来，你会发现传统的地中海饮食几乎都没有我们刚刚讲到的那些成分 has little of each of these。 接着我们来看到最后一段中间的句子咯。This leads to people eating more slowly and thoughtfully. 其实地中海饮食不仅只是因为食物健康，它的文化也是很重要。这里提到的文化呢，就导致人们 leads to 让人们可以吃得比较慢一些，而且呢可以更考虑的周到。Thoughtfully 就是有深思熟虑的意思。我们说啊，他沉思地看着那张照片，你就可以说 He looked at the picture thoughtfully。 后面一句 Another essential part of the traditional Mediterranean diet is to get moving。 传统地中海饮食还有一个不可或缺的部分呢，就是要身体动起来，吃完以后呢，可以跑跑步或者是散步。Essential 在这里当作形容词，解释成为基本的、不可或缺的意思。我们常说成功必须要努力工作，所以英文就可以说 Hard work is essential to success。 OK， 以上就是今天的课文讲解，谢谢收听。
That's it for today, everybody. We wish you a long and healthy life, and yes, maybe you could consider adapting the Mediterranean diet. It probably will be a very good decision. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Bye.